Episode of AFD Rocks, where we take this opportunity to connect further with the Austin community, enhancing public safety education and community resilience. AFD Rocks starts now. Hey, I'm happy to be back. I'm happy that you're back to share this episode with us. I'm Assistant Chief Jeff Kennedy with the Austin Fire Department, and I am co-hosting today with Division Chief Carrie Stewart. Carrie, how are you doing today?
I'm well. Hello. I'd like to say a happy belated Veterans Day to you and anybody watching or listening who has served in the armed forces. So thank you for your service.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for your service right along with those that have sacrificed their time and their lives and their careers to serve this country and their community. So thank you again. And I'm happy to be back and excited to be back. I was away for the last two episodes, and Chief Stewart and Chief Hayden stepped right up and kept things going. And that's the purpose of this Three Amigo hosting thing that we have going on. So with this episode 4, we're going to be talking about holiday safety tips. And we also have an interesting guest, and I'll talk a little bit more about that perspective in a minute. But before I go any further, I want you all to understand that we are excited that not only with this being our 4th episode, this episode also ends season 1 for us. So January 28th, that's right, yay, January 28th at 11 a.m. in 2022, we will premiere episode 1 of season 2. And at this point, that thing will center around winter safety tips and winter preparation. So be sure to join us January 28th at 11 a.m., the last Friday of the month. So this week we moved up 1 week. We're the fourth Friday of the month because next week is Thanksgiving. And that Friday after is where most people start breaking out the Christmas decorations and things of that sort. So with that in mind, our theme for this week's show is about holiday safety. And so we're going to get started with our first guest, and that is Lieutenant Kevin Glover, who is with the Community Outreach Division. Episode 2, we had Teresa Cifuentes, who was also from the Outreach Division, who kind of talked about the things that they do and things that they were doing and what they had coming. So, Kevin, we are happy to have you with us, and we would like for you to briefly introduce yourself and give us an idea of your role in community outreach, and then take us into our theme.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you very much for having me on. Yes, my name is Kevin Glover. I am the lieutenant for the Community Outreach Division here with the Austin Fire Department. In my role, I'm kind of the boots on the ground for our programs that we offer the community outreach. We have a two-prong approach of education and installation, so to speak. With education, we assign fire units to talk to schools and young people. With the older adults, we do HOA meetings to talk about fire safety at both of those events. Also, with the installation, we're actually out there knocking on doors, putting smoke detectors in people's homes. So that's kind of the role I serve. I am the lieutenant for that, and I have 1 firefighter and 2 civilians that take care of meeting both those needs.
Awesome. So, what do you have for us today in the efforts of community outreach?
Today, we want to talk about frying a turkey, or how not to fry your turkey. We know that Thanksgiving's coming up next week, and Thanksgiving is actually, they have more than 1,400 fires on Thanksgiving normally throughout every year. So a lot of them can be avoided by some of the tips we want to discuss today. We have a video that we're going to show that will show what happens when you attempt to fire your turkey incorrectly.
I'm Andre De La Rosa with the Austin Fire Department, and we're here to share some tips on how to keep your holiday meal not only delicious, but also safe. Number one, make sure your turkey is completely thawed. A frozen turkey can ruin the taste, but also can result in a pretty dangerous situation. Number two, don't overfill the oil. Make sure you do a dry run. Put the turkey in the pot and fill it up with water so you can safely mark the appropriate level for your oil. Tip number three, while we're measuring things, you want to make sure your fryer has enough space. Place it in a safe space that's at least 5 feet horizontal or 15 feet vertical from anything that can burn. Number four, remember, oil and water don't mix. Don't throw any water to cool down your oil or ice cubes. That can lead to a rapidly expanding vapor explosion that can be a very dangerous situation. Our fifth and final tip is remember, don't leave your turkey unattended. You want to make sure that the cook is always there throughout the entire process and is well prepared with a full extinguisher that works on grease fires as well. I hope these tips work for you and you have a safe and happy holidays. And remember, if you're interested in joining the Austin Fire Department, we've got a class coming up next year. Go to joinafd.com and click on the Keep Informed link.
So one of the things about that video is I'm pretty sure Chief De La Rosa will probably take that as an opportunity to start his own cooking show.
Natural.
Yeah.
Very well done.
So Kevin, thank you all for that. What are some things that you would like to add before we close this segment out? Because I think there's a very interesting fact about Texas when it comes to these types of fires.
There is definitely. Texas ranks number one in the country for Thanksgiving Day grease and cooking fires. I would also like to stress from the video the need to thaw the turkey out completely. Like Chief Del Rosa said in the video, ice and oil doesn't mix. If the turkey isn't thawed completely, the ice starts to turn to vapor, which creates steam bubbles, and the bubbles expand, and it'll pop hot grease everywhere. So thaw the turkey out at least 3 days in advance, at least 3 days. 5 would be fine. Just leave it in your refrigerator for 3 to 5 days to avoid having an unthawed turkey going into the grease. And so, just quickly, some other facts. I said it was 1,400 fires on Thanksgiving annually. That's 3 times the normal average. So if we can just try to adhere to some of these safety tactics, we'll avoid some of these fires.
All right, so that's 1,400 across the nation, not
Yes.
in Austin, right?
No, not enough.
All right, so we definitely appreciate that. Chief Stewart, do you have anything you want to add?
I will say, just with the other safety tips that we're going to share, one of my very first fires that I made, a larger house fire, was because someone left an unattended candle without a proper receptacle for it. And it was very eye-opening as a young firefighter how simple it can be to have an emergency or to have a lot of damage to your house, have a safety issue by not following some of these rules. So,
All right, thank you very much. So as she was talking about the candle fire that she experienced, some of the other safety tips that we would like to share with you are some of the common points that you will probably find anywhere if you research them on the internet. But the tips that we're going to use today are coming from the National Fire Protection Association's website, as well as the United States Fire Administration's website. So, real quick question, very easy question. You probably already know the answer. What are the top 3 days of the year for home candle fires across the nation?
Are you asking me?
Well, since you're
Yes.
there.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I know. That would be Christmas, New Year's, and
Yeah. Christmas Day, New Year's Day, and New Year's Eve. Those are the
Yes, New Year's
top
Eve.
3
That's
days
New
of the
Year's Eve.
year
Yeah.
for home candle fire. So with that, just like the fire, the turkey frying, don't leave cooking unattended. Please don't leave your candles unattended. And if you can, as a substitute, try and use those battery operated candles for that decor. With that, if you have other holiday decorating, I was going to say devices or things, make sure that they may have some sort of fire resistance to them. Read the labels and see what their ratings are. That will help too. Check your lights every year. Make sure that you can replace the bulbs. Make sure that there aren't any frayed or worn areas. If there are, replace them. And again, in use, read your manufacturer's instructions and recommendations. And the other thing I want to add too is if you go up on a ladder to hang your lights, make sure you got somebody there to kind of help keep that ladder safely in place. If you have a live Christmas tree, please water it daily and keep it away from heat sources. And also important, keep it away as best you can from exits. The holidays are that time of the year where you have lots of guests coming to spend the night, whether it's a day or two or a week. So what you want to do is test your smoke alarms and share your home escape fire plan with your guest. And then one of the last things that we want to share with you is in that spirit of having guests over, you may have some that are smokers, where it may not be a practice for you. It may not be something that you do every day. If you have someone coming in that is a smoker, make sure you provide large and deep ashtrays for those smokers, and make sure also that there's a way that they can wet those cigarette butts before they dispose of them. So very short and sweet. Those are some of the safety tips that we want to share with you, not only for Thanksgiving, but also for the holidays in general. And one other tip I forgot to mention is make sure that as you go through this festive time of the year eating, be very aware of your food temperatures. There are a lot of food poisoning cases that happen during this time of the year as well. So those are the things that I have to share. And in closing this segment out, I'll leave it back or open it up to Chief Stewart and Lieutenant Glover to add anything, and we'll close this out.
Well, I
I'll take
think
what you got.
I think the unattended portion with the turkey fryers is really important because a lot of them don't have the regulators to regulate the temperature of the grease. And if you walk away from it, the grease can get really hot and reach the combustion point. So stay there. Never leave your turkey alone is what we like to say.
All right.
And I'll say share these tips with your friends and family too. So if you see something that could be done a little bit safer, share that. So if you see something, say something, just like at the airport. So be safe.
All right. Well, thank you very much. So as we close out that segment, I'm going to turn it over to Chief Stewart to get us started with the next segment. Captain, I was about to give you a promotion. Lieutenant Glover.
I'll take it.
Thank you very much for being here today, being our host, our guest. I hope that you have a outstanding Thanksgiving, and I hope that you continue to do well with your career. So we look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
You have a great Thanksgiving.
All right. Thank you.
All right, and I'm going to introduce our hot seat guest for today. We have with us Firefighter Coit Kessler, who's going to be retiring in about a month. So we are very fortunate today to have the man, the myth, the legend, Coit Kessler with us today. Welcome, Coit. Thank you for being with us.
Hey, thanks, sister. I appreciate that. This means a lot. Carrie, coming through the class with you 21 and a half years ago, and being able to wrap up the career and having you facilitate this. Thanks. I really appreciate it.
I'm glad you could be with us today, Coit. And Coit mentioned coming through class together, and I will say that every firefighter feels like their class was the best and worked the hardest and had the roughest time. So shout out to everybody from class 105. Yep. Yeah, uphill both ways in the snow, going to class every day for us. So there you go.
Right.
So Coit, in 30 days, you will be a retired firefighter. So tell us how you're feeling about closing this chapter and what your expectations are in a month or so from now.
So I mean, it's exciting. It's untethering, which is rough. I've been institutionalized for a while. I mean that by 10 years in the service. Yeah, I know what that sounds like. Institutionalized at Station 14. That it was 10 years in the military, and now 21 and a half with public safety. So it's you feel a little untethered, and identity, that's a hard one. Good news is my contact list on my phone is pretty substantial. I've actually kind of wrote out some things I wanted to read because I knew this was probably gonna get a little emotional, and it'd be just easier for me to throw this out there. So I'm very excited about it. So I'm recovering from a knee replacement right now, and I've had a little bit of time to experience what quote retirement is like. I've had a chance to kind of taste this, and I've had a lot more time with my kids, and that's been great. I've been the dad that's been able to drop them off. I've been the dad that's been able to pick them up, and that's going to lead to being able to be a coach. I can get more involved with the PTA in our community. And now I can be the support for my wife that she's always been for me and our organization. My wife, I gotta really prop her up. I mean, she's done so much for AFD, and in addition to being one of the major founders and drivers for San Jacinto Light, along with Michelle Caldwell and Captain Liz Donaldson, she's been the skeleton and the muscles behind with many others for the golf tournament, and she served on the auxiliary, and she supported SPADA, our pipes and drums, to keep us alive and going. She's been there for the Texas Burn Survivor Society with the burn camps. She supported me and our family and program entirely with the Fireground Survival Program that started in 2007. And she's been really patient with me over the last 8 years with the Red Team. So, my wife is somebody I really wanted to highlight here. We get a lot of attention. We get a badge, and everybody comes in to say thank you to us. But I want to say thank you to the people that are behind us that are supporting our families and allowing us to come to work and get our job done. She's a veterinarian. She's a mother of 3, and she's the president of the PTA. And so retirement, this is not retirement. This is just changing the way that we're serving our communities, and it's a way that our family gets to spend more time together.
That is awesome. I wanted to say I actually have Christy on my list to give a big thank you to her as well. But this brings up something that's always stuck out in my mind about you and how you've always given back to the department as well. When you've addressed cadets and folks that are new coming into the fire service or into our department, you've always said to them, find something to do to give back, something a little bit extra. So you've been involved in Espada. You got the Red Team started for us. You've been in special operations. You've done a lot of extracurricular stuff that's not just coming to work and then going home at the end of a shift. And that has bled over into your family. And so thank you to Christy and the rest of our auxiliary members that do support us so much and do so many things for us in the background. So that is huge, and that's amazing. And I want to thank you, Coit, for all of those extra things that you have done, and you've tried to further that message, and it's been very inspiring for me as well to kind of learn from your example and to follow in those footsteps, to find extra ways to give back to the department and to our community and to the people that we work with. And it speaks a lot also to that family environment, right? That it's not just coming to work and then going home. It's that we create families and people that we live with, and that does bleed over into our personal life as well, when folks like you and your wife are doing this kind of full time. So thank you to both of you for everything you've done.
Thank you, Carrie.
All right, I got a couple of less sentimental questions and pieces, but just what will you miss the most? That could be sentimental, I get that. But what will you miss the most about being a firefighter with AFD?
It's building teams. That's something I love. The word team is from the time that we came in the academy together, that was it. It was all this huddling up. It's figuring out problems together. That's probably the thing I'm going to miss the most is team. It's us getting together and getting those workout ons. It's worming each other. I'm really going to miss that. My kids just don't get the same worms that that they get at the firehouse. Um, I, I'm going to miss that development, the training that goes into developing a team and then executing and serving. That's I mentioned it earlier. I'm not retiring. My service is just going to change. So I guess I'm not going to miss that so much, but that team building is something that I'm probably going to miss the most. High fives and hugs. Those
Yep.
are those are big wins, and we all need to be doing a lot more of that. And you can do that pretty easily at a firehouse. It's a little bit different on the outside, I'm finding, but it's there's still some good opportunity there.
All right.
So I'm gonna jump in here with this next question. Carrie and I kind of talked about it. So when you talk about teams and you talk about firehouse, it's synonymous with cooking, right? So one of the questions is,
No, I got that answer.
so with the team, 3 or 4 people, right? 3 people will cook Michelin star meals, and then that one person comes in with SpaghettiOs and boiled hot dogs, right? And that just kind of messes up. So, what was your most memorable wagon experience, good or bad?
Good. I'm gonna give Michelin. I'm gonna give Michelin, and that's Captain Donnie Watson's Soul Food Extravaganza at Station 18.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Chicken and waffles. Man, was it great. I that night with Donnie. I mean, Donnie was in the kitchen. I'm not sure he knew what he was doing, but he was in the kitchen all day long. And man, that guy pulled off a meal for us, and that table was packed with food. And again, I'm not sure that he had any idea what he was creating, but Donnie Watson's Extravaganza was one of the that's one of the ones that hit. That's the tops. Yeah,
Awesome.
that dude, it's great.
Do you have a other end of the spectrum for a memorable wagon?
No, but I will give advice to anybody out there. It does not matter how good a pre-cooked hamburger tastes. It does not matter. Do not buy pre-cooked anything, especially at 18s, because it's going on the wall. It's going to stay there the rest of until that building gets torn down. I did that one time. I had some pre-cooked hamburgers at home. I was like, God, man, these are good. These are really great. I'm gonna make this, and it is still on the wall. I don't know, 15 years later, still on the wall. It's like the biggest mistake.
That or chicken fried bologna. That doesn't go over well either. Yeah.
Oh, good to know, and good call.
Yeah. Don't do that one. So you mentioned serving in the Coast Guard also. Why did you pick the Coast Guard? And happy belated Veterans Day to you as well. Why did you pick the Coast Guard and not another branch of the service?
Well, actually, I did. I chose the Army first. I spent 10 years total, and I was Army first. I went in and I thought that I was going to go into medicine, and that was my goal. So really weird is I ended up in this place. It's called the Institute of Surgical Research. A lot of people know it as the burn unit. And that's where I actually ended my career, or my Army time. You and I were sitting in investigations, doing an investigation presentation during the academy. I can't remember who it was that came through, and they're saying, "Hey, look for bodies here." I never told you this or anybody else this, I don't think, but I actually had to step out because when I saw the bodies on the presentation, I started smelling the burn unit, and I started feeling the burn unit, and that gave me a whole new appreciation to what certainly what I had gone through and what we were getting into. I never thought I'd become a firefighter. The Army looked like it looked terrible when I was in, and then I joined the Coast Guard, and I realized that the Army was amazing. My brother was in the Coast Guard, still is. He's now he's a firefighter with us, and he's also an 04 lieutenant commander with the Coast Guard. He's out in deployment right now. and my brother lied to me and he made it look so good. And Bryce Kessler's a liar. It was
Hi, Bryson. We hope you're safe. Also,
Well, you set him up to come back very nicely.
yeah.
All right.
All right. So we're going to move into our rapid fire question portion of the show, Coit. So we're going to give you a word or phrase, and you just say your favorite or the first thing that comes to mind for these, for your preferences, what best describes you, whatever comes to mind. Okay, ready?
Okay.
All right. Sandwich.
Sandwich. Can't get enough of them.
Okay, I like it. Season.
Smoking booty rubs. Buy it at Lowe's.
Okay, that's a good one. Good one. Superpower.
Superpower. Invisibility.
Like it.
Soda.
Soda. Burners. Burners ginger ale.
Okay. Favorite holiday movie.
Favorite holiday movie. Oof. Man. Golly, this is supposed to be fast. This is terrible.
That's why we taught the hot
National
seat.
Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Okay, nice.
Okay, I thought you would say Die Hard, man, with Bruce Willis. That movie's got something for everybody, even the nostalgic points about Twinkies.
He either
He's frozen.
froze or he disagrees. I don't know.
Yeah, Frozen, I guess, is now that movie because we have nothing from him.
Did we lose Coit?
I think we lost Coit. But that's okay. I tell you
Say he
what,
doesn't like Die Hard.
I guess he doesn't. So if he's still out there listening, and for everyone else, Coit Kessler is definitely someone that we'll miss. We will not be able to replace. As mentioned earlier, there are so many accomplishments that are tied to his name and how this community, Austin, and of course the fire department has benefited from. And again, it's not just him, it's him and his family. And we will be forever grateful for everything that they've done for us and for you all as well. Are you
Oh,
back?
we got him back. We got him back.
Yep, sorry about that, guys. I'm not sure what happened there.
That's fine. I was just lamenting on your choice. I mean, it's a good choice for a holiday movie, but Die Hard's, the number one Christmas movie ever.
It's a solid win, too. Solid win.
But we'll just go ahead. Like I said, I was giving you your roses. Thank you so very much for everything you've done for this department in your 21 years. You've done a lot. Your accomplishments will live on, namely in direct with me is the red team. So although there were so many people involved in it, it's tied to your name. And we are so, again, thankful to you and your family for everything that you've done for this community and for us. And we hope that this next chapter will be just as fruitful and even more enjoyable. So
thank you.
That's
thank
from
you,
me
Chief.
to you. Thank you. And I'll let Carrie wrap it up for us.
All right.
Hey, Carrie,
yeah.
did you have a question on people? I think you had sent me something over on some of those inspirational people. Do we have time for that real quick?
Yeah, of
This is
course.
my final out.
Yeah.
So there was kind of a question on who are my most impactful and inspirational coworkers, and I wanted to cite 4 just off the top of my head. I've got Bob Nix, Kevin Kalmus, James Ray, and Todd Pomeroy. I lost my youngest brother to cancer. This is his helmet. And Greg was a firefighter, as you can see. And both Bob and Kevin were my rocks during this whole experience for my family. I've grown up a lot. I've learned so much from those knuckleheads. And guys, I love you more than you'll ever know. You both got me through some rough patches, and we've accomplished some real wins together. And the Wellness Center is one of them. The reason the Wellness Center was put together was because we had lost our physicals after 9/11, and my brother got cancer, and Local 975 came together with the IFF, and we developed the Wellness Center that you guys have today. Kevin and Bob, you guys are my people. James Ray, I couldn't ask for a better captain. He's never led from behind, never. And he's never backed away from standing up for his people. Jamie was taught by Ed Scotty, one of the best, and he recognizes that the key to success is not pulling back on the reins of his people, but rather to run with them and then help guide them. And Chief Pomeroy, you've taught me more than you'll ever know. I love this about you, Chief, is that you've taught me the word yes. It's yes. The answer is always yes. And I'm hoping that everybody will listen to this. We can do so much more with AFD if we would just start using that word more often. Not what if, not no, but the answer is yes. If we have a lot of raw talent out there, there's a lot of people that are growing up and are they want to do great things, but we have to empower them. And the answer has to be yes. Everyone I've mentioned in the organization has empowered me. They've encouraged and they've led. And our organization is so much better for the leadership. I'm really appreciated you giving me a little bit of time to be able to provide those shout outs. There's too many to name, but those 4 came to mind whenever I was writing that, and I really appreciate that opportunity. Thank you. Chief Kennedy, I'm counting on you saying yes. I'm counting on that red team going further, faster in launching. We can work safer, faster, more efficient with technology. I know you're going to be the guy to get us there. I know you've committed to it. I know you're the guy that's going to get us there. Chief Davis, he saw this back in 2012. That dude's eyes were wide open, and he saw how technology was going to make this happen for us moving forward. And we're counting on you guys with the white shirts, and I really appreciate you giving me an opportunity to say that to our community. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I think this was great that last week we were premiering or introducing folks to cadets starting their career, and then today a rock star ending the career. So thank you.
Thanks. Much love.
Thank you,
Much love.
And thank you for always bringing it back to the people, because whether it's our community and AFD interacting with our community or internally within AFD, it's about the people that we serve and our internal customers also. So thank you for always bringing it back to the folks.
Always.
Right.
Always.
Take care, man. Thank you.
Good luck, Coy.
Much love. One love. Talk later.
All right. So this brings us to the close of this episode, but that was a wonderful interview. And again, a perspective from someone who's done it for 21 years, and a first opportunity for us to be able to showcase somebody's experience to the community on retirement through this organization. So we're very thankful for that. And I want to remind you that we will premiere episode 1 for season 2, January 28th at 11 a.m., which is the last Friday in January. So Chief Stewart, you got any messages for the fans and listeners?
Yes, please be sure to subscribe, share the link for this, and like us on our YouTube channel, the Austin Fire Department. All of those social media things. Find us and like us and follow us on those.
All those tech thingies.
All those tech thingies.
All right. So thank you for that. And as I mentioned earlier, Tony couldn't be with us today, but he found some way to finagle himself back into the fray with this show. And so with that, we want to be able to premiere to you first ever video of Station 51. And Wes Hopkins of Austin Travis County EMS is Tony's counterpart when it comes to building new facilities for first responders, namely EMS and fire. They've been on this project together along with a host of other people. But as we close out for season 1, we want to leave you with this world premiere video of this new station in construction, Station 51. You guys have a wonderful holiday season. Thank you.
Happy holidays, everyone. Be safe.
everybody. I'm Tony Hayden, Division Chief for the Austin Fire Department.
Good morning, Wes Hopkins, Division Chief, Austin Travis County Emergency Medical Services.
We're really glad to have you join us here today at Fire Station 51 and EMS Station 40.
While we're still in COVID-19 restrictions, we can't have the public in, so we wanted to do a video shoot to show you the station. So come on in.
So what we're standing in right now is our combined kitchen, dining, and day room. This room is part of the concept of this building is we wanted to increase opportunities for people to be able to train. We wanted to make a big open space. For the fire department, we use this as a captain's complement training station, which means that the captain will bring over multiple crews. We want to have a big area for them to be able to get together and do training together. In fact, we have some more really cool training components to this building that we'll show you a little bit later.
Let's show you the EMS shift change room. So while we have a common kitchen and day room, we also added an EMS shift change room, much like some of our other stations. This is a place for the medics to check out, write reports, watch a little TV, get a little downtime in between busy calls. Let's take you into the EMS side of the Travis Country Fire and EMS station. So in here we have our District Command 7 office and their sleep room. So this commander office, we house District Command 7 at this location. So they oversee several different ambulances in the general vicinity. On the EMS side, we also added a study area. This station oftentimes has cadets here that are training to clear to independent duty. And so having a place that they can check out and study so they're successful is really important to us. On the EMS side, we have 3 sleep rooms for the medics. They are double occupancy bedrooms. And so what this allows us to do is to add additional beds in here. We can bed down medics for 24 hours when we get inclement weather and things of that nature.
Hey everybody. So Wes gave you a good look at the EMS side of the building. Ours is very similar, but I do want to show you our captain's office real quick. And an interesting thing that we've added to the way we do buildings. So we have this alerting board right now that lets us set up all of our stations in a way where the room can be able to select only the apparatus that needs to be heard for the calls. It's going to help us to get better sleep, be a better, well-rested workforce as we move from a system where we're used to hearing everybody's calls to only the calls that we need to hear. And then this office is a great place for our captains to sit and work on their reports and closing out their shift work for the day. We got a bunch of dorm rooms just like EMS side. All of these are set up the same way, and we have individual sleep rooms. This is one of our concepts that we're really excited about. And then the restrooms that anyone can use. Did y'all look at one already on the EMS side? Let's take a look. So inside of the restroom, they're all basically the same. Single user. Gives you a great place to come in and get cleaned up after a call. If you're dirty after a fire or a medical call, you can get clean. Of course, we're here 24 hours a day, so everybody needs a shower in 24 hours, at least one, right?
Absolutely.
This station is also home to a battalion chief. So the battalion chief has an office here with their dorm. There he is right there working hard, probably working on staffing as we're getting closer to that time of the day. Let me show you a really cool element that I love about this station. It's one of the best add-ons I think that we've been able to do at a station, because what it does is it allows for training. Just like I talked about downstairs in the day room, we wanted to give the captains an opportunity to be able to train their crews in a smart way, get them a lot of options, and we wanted to keep them close to their territory. So historically, one of our issues in the fire department has been people have to travel great distances to get to a training tower to do training. So in this building, we were able to capitalize on the second set of stairs by moving it outside and building it up to the top of the roof. And it gives us a training tower complete with a standpipe, places to tie off for our crews to throw ladders, to do rappelling. Chief Hopkins and I have seen that the fire and EMS crews working together on rappelling training and special operations type events. And so it's been really great opportunity for these crews to work on things from throwing a ladder all the way to the joint work of training together for those critical incidents. So this tower is not only a great place for us to train, but it also gives us access back to the bay as we're working. So we haven't looked at the bay yet. Come check it out. We're building big truck bays. We never know exactly what apparatus are going to be in them. But this station, like a lot of the new ones that we're building, does have room for a lot of space for us, so we can be diverse in the units that we place here over the course of time. This one has 4 bays and currently is home to Quint 51, Battalion 8, Medic.
EMS has a Medic 40 and District Command 7 here.
So as a piece of what we're doing in fire stations, we're trying to get the bunker gear out of traditionally where they've lived for years in the truck room bay. What this does is it kind of keeps it away from any of the diesel exhaust fumes or the harmful effects of the sun beating down on our turnout gears over time, getting us longer life expectancy out of the gear and just healthier environment for our crews as part of our cancer prevention methods that we include in all of our station design. What we're looking at right now is the fire side. So all of our members have their own locker, and the crew that's on duty right now, when they're done, they'll come back and hang their stuff right here. EMS has a room much like this.
So EMS additionally has a gear room, and what we've learned is that getting that gear out of the bay and in a climate controlled, humidity modified area is better for the gear. You know, our medics wear all kinds of equipment from vehicle extrication gear to some of the bulletproof vests. And so after a long shift of wearing that, having a place to hang it up and let it dry out before your next shift, not only makes it a cleaner, more sanitary for the medics, but also extends the life of the gear.
What you're standing in now is our Decon Room. This is a kind of new innovation idea that we're adding into fire stations, and it's very helpful for fire and EMS crews as we come back from dirty calls for us to be able to keep ourselves from taking all that dirty stuff into the station. It's a place where we can drop off, clean our gear, or our clothing, to keep it from coming in and being something that we would then have to take home with us on the backside.
And once that gear has been doffed, or your uniforms, you can go into a part of the station where there is a complete restroom with toilet, sink, and shower, so you can wash that stuff off before you go into the living space of the station.
And one final room to show off is the weight room. Now, this fitness room is set up and it's designed to allow the crews to be able to work out together. But as you can see, it's a little bit of a tight fit if you're trying to get a bunch of people in. So one of the things that we try and do with our fitness rooms now is open them up to the outside. Take a look. So like I said, we can't build the world's biggest gym affordably for our crews, but we like to look at it as a way to build a gym that opens up to the world. So this lets them take their workouts to the exterior, kind of more of a CrossFit type of experience for them, where they still have the weight room, but they can come outside, and this way they can get the entire team working out together.
One of the things we found is that when you have a workout space that extends to the outside, you get a greater camaraderie, and so crews or even fire and EMS will work out together at this station, which we really like.
So this side of the building is where we have our picnic tables. It's just another seating area for crews to be able to eat. Like we mentioned earlier, our crews are here for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So this is a nice place to be able to come, maybe get some fresh air, maybe eat together outside and kind of change it up. But again, we really try and build a family atmosphere. One of the nice things about these fire and EMS combined stations is we're really trying to build that culture between the departments where it is a shared experience. So this opens it up for a lot more people to be able to eat together.
It also faces west, so the sunset view is spectacular.
There's another thing that we didn't show you that we're really excited about as we look at these stations. We try and make these truck room bays a very good atmosphere. Again, we try and we really try and encourage opportunities to be able to train. And a truck room bay can be a very hot place. We have these giant fans that really do a great job circulating the air and keeping our crews cool. In addition, all these lighting that we're looking at as we walk through the station is LED. One of the big benefits to that is we really are trying to build a station that is good for the environment. So these LED lights, they're really great for our electricity. In fact, there's a whole lot of innovation that has gone into this station.
So having these LED lights and a more energy efficient station allows for the generator at the back of the station, which runs off natural gas, to power the vast majority of the station for multiple days during inclement weather. One of the things you've noticed at this station is that we added some color. We've added a green throughout the countertops and the acoustic tiles in the day room and EMF shift change room. And so we wanted to build this station different than any of the others to date. And so we wanted it to be a very professional station with a very modern feel, hence that accent color.
But of course, being professional doesn't mean you can't have some fun as well. And of course, with all the green and the number 51 for the fire station, they've embraced this alien theme, and they even call their Aerial 51. And of course, this is a 2-story station, and with that we were able to bring a little bit of the old tradition of the old fire stations with the pole, and the pole is actually a great tool for us. It's not just decorative, it's actually very usable. It helps our crews have faster response from the 2nd story where they're sleeping down to the truck room bay. We love it, and our crews love to use it, right?
Absolutely. One of the things we did when we built this station is we wanted it to be accessible to both fire and EMS.
But of course, Wes, this is a fire pole, so.
I got this.
Well, we want to thank you again for coming on this tour with us so we could get you a behind-the-scenes look at what it actually is that's going on inside of this station. Now, obviously, a project of this magnitude doesn't just happen by itself. It takes a large team. We're very grateful to have the support of our mayor, of our city council, and of course, the city manager. This fire station and EMS station is in Council Member Ellis's district, and I know that she's very proud of it. In fact, we just gave her a tour last week.
Certainly, we also want to thank our partners, J.E. Dunn and PGAL, for designing and building the station. We also want to give a special thanks to Public Works, specifically Michelle Noriega and Burton Jones. Those 2 individuals as our Public Works project managers really bring these projects home for us. They keep Tony and I on track, and so we really want to give them a big thanks.
Absolutely. So thank you to all those people. Thank you for taking some time out of your day to join us on this, and we hope you really enjoyed it. Stay safe, everybody.
Thanks again. Have a great day.